I would like to share with you guys a very important feature that I added to my application today, to my iPhone app. I realized that once you deploy an app, it's kind of out of your hands. So you really need a way to force your users to upgrade to your newer versions. It's especially important at the beginning, but even later on, if you find out that, for example, your app has a vulnerability, what do? You want to make sure your users upgrade. So you need to build in functionality that would not allow users to log in with older versions of the app than what you approve of. This is also important when you change the API, for instance, your backend API or database tables. You don't want users to come in trying to access your data or database as if it was still in the old state. So the first step you do, basically there are two sides to this. The first is you have to get the version of the device, the software on the device the user is using when they're logging in. That's number one. Second, you have to for this, I use the Package Info Plus plugin, which retrieves the information from a user's device and displays it and it gives you basically the version number and gives you the build number. So that's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is that in my database, I created an application table, and this application table stores the oldest allowed version. So that's the other side of things, because we're going to have to compare what is the oldest version that is allowed to log in with what version of the software of the app the user has on his device. How do we deploy? So I think the server side of this is pretty clear. You just create that application record. You make sure you update it, to keep updating it as you're making progress with your application, setting the latest allowed version to log in to whatever you want to. And on the client side, it's a little more complicated, but it's still not very complicated. You take this plugin, the Package Info Plus plugin, and what you do is you create a custom action. In that custom action, all you need to do is give the name of the plugin, which is Package Info Plus, and then you click this little green button, which is going to import it. And refresh things based on the update. This is an update to pop spec, right? Because we're adding a dependency. We're going to return a string, which is just going to be the version and the build number from what the Package Info plugin returns, and then that's it basically. So you create this custom action, and then you can refer to this in the action specifications. So a number of things here. First, once you have this action, let's say on your login button. So this is my login here. When a user is logging in, before I do the auth, so that you guys can see that the auth is done here. Before I get to the auth, the first thing I do is I call my custom action, and that custom action, the package info action, is going to return to me the package info action outcome, which is going to be just that string, this simple string, the version plus the build number. So now that I have that, I'm gonna call my, I got a little fancy here. I created a backend service, which a REST API call, where I call the call of the API call on the server where the database is, and just return. As I don't just return the application record, but I actually just return an extra field which just says allow to log in. But you don't have to do it this way. You can simply, instead of this second call, the backend call can simply just return this application record. And then the client can compare the package info, the version that came back from package info from the device. So then the app can compare the information from the device with whatever's in the application table on the back end. So you can just download the application table directly. You don't have to do the REST API call. However, if you decide to go this route, I think it's kind of neat the way it works. So I want to show you guys what this looks like when you do set up a REST API. I created an API call which I just call with the user, although the user is not very important in this case, but I guess it can do logging, that's why it would be important, and the version on the device. So basically I'm reading out the version on the device from the version on the device from the package info plugin, and I'm feeding it into my API call. So basically I send it like this. I post this request to my backend that, okay, this user with this version on a device wants to know if he's allowed to log in, and then the backend API call returns this response. So this is what you guys see here. Basically, it is the application record plus an extra field that just says allowed to log in, a yes or no. If the oldest allowed version is 1.0 and I passed in 0.09, obviously I'm not allowed in because my app is too old. So this is all there is to it. The two sides to it. The package info has to be set up. The package info plugin, you can set it up using a custom action, and on the server side you create a record that I just called application record. You can create a REST call around it, which I prefer to do because then you have more flexibility. Like I said, you can do logging, for example, and you can do a lot of other things, and you can return just a flag with allowed to log in, things like that, which I think is really nice. But you can just download the application record, use Flutter, you can use Firebase, and simply return, download the application record and do this comparison in the client. So instead of, like here, I just do a conditional allowed to log in, but this could be, if you didn't have this fancy API call, this could be just a comparison between what a custom action returned from the user's device with whatever application record oldest allowed version is in the application record that of the API call returned for you from the server side. And with this, you can implement the functionality that will not let you in, will not let the user in if they have an older version of the app than what you want to allow. And that after that, I have a conditional here which just displays a dialog, an error dialog. Now, in order, so it's not enough to get this to work for login. you should add it to probably every home page. This processing, at least, sorry, every page on load trigger, but at least to the home page, because what you want to do is, if the flag is, let's say if the user is logged in, users can be logged in for months, right? And if the user is logged in and you set the flag on the server, so if I set this flag, if I set this all this allowed version to a higher number because I released a new version of the app, I want the active apps where the user is logged in already, I want those apps to also log out the user. So because of that, I recommend that this processing, this entire blog, be installed on every homepage. Another way of doing it would be to have a repeated action that regularly checks if the application record was updated, and sets an allowed to log in flag in app state. That's another way of doing this. And then every page, when you load the page, all you have to do is check that allowed to log in flag in app state. So that's all there is to it. Good luck.